The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Alongside Jamie Lent, I'm Chois Woodman. This is the Morning Drive on Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. Keep your thoughts and comments coming in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Jamie, did you know the MLB draft is less than a month away?
Yeah, it's coming up soon.
I think the NBA draft is like next week, right?
I believe that, yes, that's usually.
And they still don't know, or it's not still widely known who the first overall pick is going to be, which is usually pretty rare at this point.
There's like the obvious guy, and this year there's not an obvious guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I understand it. I'm not a huge follower, but like last year, you get
Wemby this year.
There's no Wemby or a Zion Williamson or one that people have all kind of written in pen as the one that's going to be
LeBron.
Sure.
David Robinson.
Thank you. I was waiting on you to mention
Derek Coleman.
Figure out the other guy. The other Spur. You've mentioned two of the 3 number 1 overall picks.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Waco Forest.
Weiner.
Luka? I'm not sure anybody whines more than Luka right now.
I think Duncan is the only one that challenges Luka.
Oh, come on. Dirk whined a ton, too.
Yeah, Dirk would be in the conversation, too.
I mean,
Duncan was pretty bad, dude.
LeBron whines a ton. I mean, it seems like it's
I don't
just
think he's in the conversation with those three. I don't think LeBron's in.
Getting the LeBron, like, oh my gosh, do you know who I am? Look, like the palms up.
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, Dirk might have been ahead of Duncan, but I think those top three and all happen to be Texas.
They do, yeah. I think all three of those are way up there on the whininess list for sure.
Yeah, and I think Luka is the leader of the pack.
Luka, I mean, every time. What's worse about Luka,
I think
is he'll sit down on the ground while the game's still going on for like 2 minutes.
3 or 4 times in the finals where he gives up a basket because he's arguing at the other end. Yeah, I think and
I like watching Luka play too.
Yeah, me too. And it was funny. I heard one of the ESPN talking heads going into that series talking about how it was a great chance for both him and Jason Tatum to, show the world what they're really about on the big stage and yada, yada, yada. And I think Jason Tatum came out very positive, and I think it came out very negative for Luka. Clearly, he was not 100% healthy.
Sure.
But he was not the same guy offensively. And he just at times looked like he wasn't even trying on defense. And then all the whining, I think probably the casual fan like myself, I'll just speak for myself, it was definitely a turnoff, so to speak, as far as, hey, love watching that guy. I can't stand watching that type of stuff, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Yeah. A couple from the chat line. Pepsi Man says, good morning, guys, from Iowa City, Iowa. Just want to say have a great weekend, guys.
All right, you too, Pepsi Man.
Thank you. Another one says, Chios is as sharp as a marble. Thanks. That was sweet of you.
That's very kind.
I hate when my mom texts in. Monty says, no one will be on their deathbed wishing they would have worked more. So take all the days off possible.
Good point, Monty.
Touche. Yep. So the reason I brought up the MLB draft next month, NBA's next week, is because I saw this. The states with the fewest first-round draft picks. There are 5 states out there that have never produced a high school first-rounder, and 4 that have never produced a high school or college first-round player.
Okay.
Any guesses?
I'll
let you stab at it.
I would predict northern states.
4 of them are definitely northern. The other one's more mid.
I'd go with like the Dakotas and Montana.
Good job. 2 Dakotas on the list. Never produced high school or college.
Alaska.
Thinking way north. Yep. Alaska is another one.
But they did have Trajan Langdon.
You said what?
He was a basketball player for Duke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't remember that.
Yeah, he was pretty good. Played for the Cavs.
Trajan.
Tragan, maybe?
Okay.
Yeah. No, Jan. Jan, not Gan.
That rhymes with Cajun. I didn't know there was a word that rhymed with Cajun. So,
Montana?
No, Montana.
Wyoming?
They've had a first-round pick.
No.
Wyoming's had a first-round pick.
Nebraska?
Oh, surely they have.
No, they have.
Oh, hang on. NBA or MLB?
MLB.
Okay, MLB. Okay.
Washington.
No, it is New Englandish.
Rhode Island.
Nope, they've had a first-round pick. Okay, I'll tell you.
Vermont?
Vermont is it. Vermont's never had a first-round pick in college or high school. No Catamounts have gone there. And then the other one that has produced college first-round picks, but not high school. Never a high school first-rounder out of the state of West Virginia. Surprises me a little bit. They have had a couple of different players from West Virginia that have made it or been first-round picks. Chris, is it Enox? The 90s?
Don't know.
Anyway, Alec Manoa.
Yeah.
And
they're about to have another one now.
And then J.J. Weatherholt will make the third this year, unless something goes crazy.
By the way, Trajan Langdon is the GM of the Pelicans.
Currently.
Right now.
Really?
Yeah.
The more you know. Look at that. I did not have a clue. I don't think I've ever heard of Trajan Langdon before this moment right here.
Wasn't he nicknamed the Alaskan Assassin?
I'm going to trust you.
I think so.
Because, again, I still have never heard of him. Mm-hmm. The Alaskan Assassin. I like that. This from Mary on the chat line. Good morning. Thank you so much for the contest win. Had a great time last night at Two Docs. Thanks again. Mary Louderbeck, our grand prize winner. Thanks for being out there, Mary. Appreciate it. She won last night and is a Morning Drive listener, so fantastic stuff there. And thanks to our friends at the Home Zone for teaming up to give away lots of cash over the last couple of months. Y'all keep the comments coming in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. There's some more on and against Luka there on the chat line. We will get into me defending Dak Prescott before too long.
That's going to be fun.
It feels a little gross.
I get the feeling that Choice and Jeff are going to have a throwdown here on the Morning Drive this morning.
Something like that. Maybe.
I'll just pull the Jordan stat, the playoff record, and he'll be like, "It's the only argument you're making.
That's the
only
argument
one I need."
It's pro Dak in the playoffs, basically saying it's not his fault. Get to that coming up. Jeff has This Day in Sports History next on Double T 97.3.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Alongside Jamie Lent, I'm Chois Woodman. You're listening to the Morning Drive on Double T 97.3 and Double T973.com. Time to kick it over to Jeff for This Day in Sports History.
Helps if I grab the right sheet of paper. 1939 is where we will get started, gentlemen. New York Yankees announced that Lou Gehrig's retirement after doctors reveal that he has ALS. 1950, Joe DiMaggio gets hit number 2,000, a seventh-inning single off Chick Peretti in an 8-2 victory over Cleveland.
Good old Chick.
1964, Phillies pitcher Jim Bunning hurls a perfecto as the Philadelphia Phillies beat the New York Mets 6-0 on Father's Day at Shea Stadium. 1970, in the World Cup final, Brazil and Pelé become the first team and player to win World Cups 3 times, beating Italy 4-1 in front of 107,412 spectators. 1983. Tennis ace Arthur Ashe undergoes double bypass heart surgery. This would be the surgery that is suspected to be the one with the tainted HIV blood that will eventually have Arthur Ashe die of AIDS. 1986. The 1985 Heisman Trophy winner, Bo Jackson, signs a 3-year contract to play baseball with the Kansas City Royals. And why did he do that? Because Tampa Bay messed with his baseball eligibility.
Come on.
Buccaneers.
It's all their fault.
2012 Miami Heat win their second NBA title, beating the Oklahoma City Thunder 121-106 in Game 5. LeBron James was your MVP. And this is the finals, I believe, where they're going to the picture of the three, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden in the Oklahoma City uniform together. People are going to think it's Photoshopped. And in 2016, we heard this.
0-1 pitch swung on, hit well towards left field. This ball is back, and it is gone. Eric Gutierrez can touch them all. The Red Raider first baseman has given the Red Raiders a 2-0 lead over Florida as he hits his 36th home run as a Red Raider.
Number 36 for Eric Gutierrez was number 1 in the College World Series for the program, and it led to eliminating number 1 Florida 3-2 for Tech's first College World Series win.
Yeah, I wish we could hear Neslony and Mike Davis end it. That was the cool play.
That was cool.
That was the cool play. That one was cool.
No, the home run's cool.
First ever home run in Omaha. Yeah, that was a good day.
But finishing a game on a outfield assist.
On an outfield assist, pretty cool. Yeah,
it's pretty awesome too. Yeah,
yeah.
I remember that. I was pretty giddy.
Pretty giddy.
Pretty giddy.
Pretty giddy.
That's fair to say that all of us were pretty giddy.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch swung on and laced to left field. This one's going to get down for a hit. Neslony over to cut it off. He'll fire it back in quickly. He wants a 2-bagger. The tag is applied, and the out is made. Guns up, Gators down. The Red Raiders get win number 1 in Omaha over the nation's number 1 team. Tyler Neslony with a Gold Glove peg to Michael Davis, and the Red Raiders send the Gators home.
Was that me clapping in the background?
Yeah, sure.
You and everybody else.
No, you were crying. I could hear you. So
whimpering.
I was about to say before, Haney
Good
beat
work,
me
Jeff.
to it. Gators were the number 1 team. They're the number 1
and
seed.
they went 0-2 that year.
Yeah, they had a reputation up until a couple of years ago of one that just couldn't get it done because they had a lot of really good teams that didn't get it done, but they finally got theirs. Wish they would have done it this year, too.
Chuck is going to be a little upset that he missed today.
Uh-oh.
It's National Smoothie Day.
Oh?
It's also National Peaches and Cream Day. And I think we can all get behind this one. It's National Cookie Dough Day.
Let's go.
I don't eat cookie dough unless it's cooked.
Mr. Square himself won't touch the cookie dough.
It just doesn't look appealing to me.
Look, have you tried it?
I don't need to.
Oh, my gosh.
They're going to put them in the oven, and they're going to be really good
It's
in like
heavenly.
15 minutes.
But it's even better if you take a chunk of cookie dough while they're cooking. It's phenomenal stuff. And even when on the package, now they make it all pretty well where it's like it's okay to eat. They make it without eggs. But on the package, it's like, don't eat this raw. I don't care.
Most ignored warning label.
Give me that salmonella.
No, probably the one about ripping a label off the mattress.
Well, that one's not for us. That one's for the
still there.
That's for the people that sell the mattresses.
yeah, it
They're
says
the ones that can't
you can be
remove it.
arrested if you rip them off or
Yeah, that's what
something.
it says.
Yeah,
mine's still on there.
Yeah, I mean, everybody in my family loves it. I'm not saying it's like
but you've
horrendous.
Never tried it?
I don't want to. I'd rather have it made into a cookie cooked.
Remember,
Just
Choice.
try it.
Jamie doesn't want a cookie later. He wants a cookie now.
Just try it.
I don't need to. I like it in the oven.
That's great, but you don't know if you like.
Yell at him about cookie dough in a minute.
All right.
Happy birthday, Dwayne Slade. Turns 40 today. Also, Kevin Harlan turned 64 today.
Okay.
So, listen to some great play-by-play calls in his honor.
No doubt.
Chris Pratt, 44. William, Prince of Wales, is 42. Scotty Scheffler, 28. Wade Phillips, 77, who has, in my opinion, one of the best Twitter handles of all time. He is Son of Bum.
Son of Bum.
Son of Bum. That is good. Yep. That's great.
And Dana Holgerson, 53 today.
Okay.
And on this,
no longer a Big 12 coach. So.
Correct. And on this day in 1875, embattered and impoverished, the once mighty Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna dies in Mexico City. All told, he became the head of the Mexican government 11 times, overthrown for the last time in 1855. He spent the remaining 2 decades of his life scheming with elements in Mexico, the United States, and France to stage a comeback.
Take that, brochacho.
And that is this day in sports history.
How dare you attack the Alamo? Scotty Scheffler is the oldest looking 28-year-old in the world, right?
Okay.
I knew he was young, but I didn't know he was that young. 28. The dude looks like a 45-year-old
Yeah, he looks
dad.
a little older. Yep.
He does. I mean, he looks very mature for his age. So.
Words never used when describing this show.
Always. Always. You forgot. You mixed up never and always. I'm still disappointed in you. I didn't know you would trigger me with...
I'm not telling you can't do it.
I understand that. I'm just
choose
telling you,
not
just
to.
try it once. Just when Anne's got the cookie dough out, and she's slapping some cookies on the pan, just swipe one. That's part of the fun of it. It's like you steal one while you're at it. You steal some cookie dough, and then Mom swats your hand with the spatula, and you go back at it. It's just live on the edge a little, Jamie. Eat the raw cookie dough.
I just like it cooked.
Okay.
Why is that so wrong?
It's not wrong to like both.
Okay, that's fine.
I just feel like you're missing out on some.
What about licking the
things.
spatula when you're making a cake? Or the egg beater when you're making a cake?
Yeah, I used to do that.
You'll do that?
Okay, so you're not entirely a monster.
Yeah. Not entirely a monster. Jamie texted in from his burner. Eating cookie dough is the dumbest thing ever.
Oh, please. We've talked about flight bases on this station before.
Yeah, we did.
There's plenty of
We do much
other
dumber
things to
things
throw
than
your
that.
hat in the ring for. Dumbest thing ever than eating cookie dough. But you know what? You do you. It's the morning drive. On to hour number 2 next on Double T 97.3.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Alongside Jamie Lent, I'm Chois Woodman in for Chuck this morning. Jeff McGuire behind the glass handling us. Y'all keep hitting us up. Whatever thoughts, comments, questions you want to bring in, reaction of any sort, welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that Double T 97.3 mobile app. There's a giant in Florida. We'll get to that. Jamie's question of the day, about 15 minutes out. NCAA tournament expansion has become another hot topic out on the out in the World Wide Web, as well as just the college basketball circles. So we'll dabble in that. I think the guy that normally sits in this seat does not want any sort of tournament expansion. So I might argue for it.
You might.
I mean, I'm pretty well
looking
on the
forward
fence
to
about it. You want it? Oh, okay. Well, then you might be looking forward to this because I've teased it. Dak Prescott. Is he just getting a bad rap when it's not his fault? So, in Dak Prescott's In 3 of his playoff losses, the defense has given up 30-plus points. Are we being unfair by blaming Dak so much for the playoff losses? Here's some other quarterback records in the playoffs when their team has allowed 30-plus points. Ben Roethlisberger, 0-6. John Elway, 0-6. Brett Favre, 0-7. Joe Montana, 0-3. Drew Brees, 0-3. Aaron Rodgers, 1-5. Peyton Manning's 2-4. Tom Brady's 2-3. When their teams have given up 30-plus points in the postseason. Those are their records. There is one guy out there that I could find that has a winning record when his team has allowed 30-plus points. Any guess?
No.
Patrick Mahomes.
That would make sense.
3-2 when his teams have given up 30-plus points.
So I guess you would have to say, and how many games for Dak that his team has given him? 3 of 5?
3, yeah.
3 out of the 5?
3 out of 5.
Okay.
His team has allowed.
How many times has he factored into that greatly by not being good offensively or by
throwing interceptions,
that
weren't
setting up short
fields?
Yeah, and there have been pick sixes. Yes. Yeah, all of that does matter and does factor in.
Yeah, so I mean, your offense is allowed to help the defense. We wouldn't always believe that around here.
Yeah,
or even the fact that maybe if they're not staying on the field long and you're putting your defense on the field more, I'm not talking about quick scoring drives, but I'm talking about 3 and outs, and you can't move the ball, and so your defense is constantly back out on the field. There's more opportunities to score against them, and it's more likely that they're going to get worn down, all the above,
sure,
and to have short fields to try to defend all of those things, and so that factors into that as well, I would think.
More stats for you for Dak Prescott. In the last 50 starts, Dak Prescott statistically has been a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. The win-loss record, Pat has a slight edge at 36-14. Dak is 33-17. And these are in their last 50 starts. They have, in the last 50 starts, both had 105 passing touchdowns exactly.
I don't think anybody's doubting that Dak's been a solid quarterback in the regular season.
38 interceptions to 39 for Pat. Passer rating is 101.3 for Dak, 98.9 for Pat. Yards per attempt almost identical, 7.6 to 7.5. And Dak has had a higher completion percentage at 68.4% to 66.8%.
Especially when they're running that little, 3-yard pass play every possession last year, and their offense in the West Coast offense is just get the ball out quickly and
sure,
short routes. He should be higher than Pat Mahomes.
So Dak, I think that only proves the point you just made.
You got to win in the postseason.
Dak's been
a
great regular season quarterback.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean he had one off year 2 years ago. 1 year where he had a lot of interceptions.
Yeah.
Outside of that in his career, he's been a really good, solid regular season quarterback. He and the Dallas Cowboys beat up on bad competition, really beat up on it, and lose to good competition in the regular season. I think the one thing none of these stats, and you said earlier, stats are for losers, because I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I'm not actually vying for Dak Prescott, saying he's anywhere close to the air that Pat Mahomes breathes. But the one thing that doesn't factor into these stats is what our eyes have seen, what they tell you. One guy has clearly elevated his team and goes and grabs games, goes and wins games for his team.
Yeah.
And one does not seem to have the ability to do that.
No.
Like
carry a team, lift a team in the postseason when it matters. take him to a different level, make everybody around him better. All those things you say about Patrick Mahomes. I don't remember anybody saying that about Dak Prescott.
I mean, I still...
And by the way, there are only a handful of guys that you do say that about in the NFL.
I would take prime Tony Romo over prime Dak Prescott.
He didn't have a ton of success in the postseason either.
He didn't, but I still feel like he did do things to elevate his team at times.
Sure.
I've never felt that way about Dak.
The big question here is, I mean... Dak is not a bad quarterback. Dak's probably he's in the top 10 or 12 quarterbacks in the league. But Dak's wanting to be paid like numero uno, okay? And he's not. And if you pay him like numero uno, you don't have cap space to add the pieces around him to help him win.
Right.
He can tell us all day long it's not all about the money. I don't know that it is he's lying there. I think it's about him feeling like I'm getting the top money. It's not. It's a competition. Okay, and the Cowboys have no chance of winning, paying him $60 million, like he supposedly is asking for.
Yeah, I mean this marriage is going to end in divorce. If it doesn't, the Cowboys,
you promise,
are completely off their rocker. I hope. I'm sitting there jokingly putting up for Dak. There's nobody in their right mind that's giving Dak that. Okay, someone's probably going to give him good money. I'm curious when he does test the open market, what that number looks like.
Here's the thing.
Because someone's going to want it.
If Dak can go get $60 million, and I'm just throwing a team out, I don't know that he would actually go there. But if the Seattle Seahawks want to pay him $60 million, Dak, good luck. Go forth. Go do what you want to do. Sure. Go try to make your $60 million. I don't want that on my team.
Yeah, I think it's less likely that somebody in free agency gives it to him than the Cowboys.
I agree with that. I don't think he's getting 60 either way. He's still going to get big money, but he's not getting 60. I don't think the Cowboys are giving it to him.
The rest of the quarterbacks in the league, if he just said, I'm going to take 45, the rest of the quarterbacks in the league would be furious with him.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Sure. Everybody wants him to take the big money, but we'll get some.
Keeps upping things, and it doesn't set an example of, hey, if you really want to win, you should, you should help your team out by taking less money.
Sure.
Oh, you mean like Tom Brady did?
Oh.
Yeah.
That formula.
Yeah.
It worked for a lot of championships.
Mm-hmm.
All right, bring us your thoughts on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We'll continue to get some of those. And Jamie's question of the day on the way on Double T 97.3.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, it's prediction time today.
Oh, okay. Yeesh.
So you're walking through the grocery store. And you have these moments.
You shake hands with people.
And somebody's like, hey, that's Chois Woodman.
You have those moments?
And
it's weird they would say that to you.
And so they're like, hey, Chois, hey, listen to the show all the time, big fan. Okay?
It's happened once or twice.
All right. Hey, Jeff. Man, it's good to put a face with the name. That's so cool.
Okay.
And then they're going to say, we're in January. Okay? It's January.
Oh, word.
And then they're going to say, man, how about that Tech football season? You got three things. You got three storylines that you're going to say after this football season. What are those three things you're going to say?
Oh, man. Okay. Because often, this did actually happen at the grocery. It's funny. This did happen.
Did they ask you three things?
No.
Tell me three things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, predict it. No, they did. They were like, okay, how are we looking for football this season? That's probably the question. If I do talk to someone.
But now you're recapping. What'd you think of that football season?
So,
three things you're going to say.
Okay. This is really... I think the first thing I will say is we're going to... I think next year is our year with Barron's senior year. That's the first thing. Because I think Texas Tech's going to be close, but not be in the Big 12 title this year. Title championship game, I should say. I think you're going to be right there, close to it. So whether that's, third, fourth, fifth place in the Big 12, you're right there, maybe a game or two out of playing for a Big 12 championship. This is 2 years ago. You were one game away from it, that Kansas State game, remember? You're 5-4, but still a game away from playing for the title. Yep. I think you're going to be closer than that this year. So right there, I think we'll be saying, okay, Barron's senior year, because I'm guessing he's not going to go to the draft. Just guessing at that. Am I doing this, answering it correctly?
Well, so far you've done one of your three.
Right, but like,
what is your one so far?
Can't wait for next season with Barron's senior year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's one of my
that's number one
reactions. Can't wait because I think next year's our year. That's how I'd say it. Next year's our year with Barron's senior year. Number two is it was really cool to see Taj Brooks become the all-time leading rusher at Texas Tech.
Okay.
Because he's about 1,000-ish, a little over 1,000 yards from doing that. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't hit that mark, then I think we're in some trouble because he would have been injured or something around those lines. So it was cool to see this. And then the third one is, man, look how far your defense has come over the last few years. I think you will take another step in the right direction under Tim DeRuyter.
I hope you're right. I'm nervous about that. You just lost so many key guys on the defensive side.
I think what you're going to see defensively, Jamie, this year, and this is my opinion, but I think you're going to see that depth finally start to build.
Well, that's what Coach DeRuyter said when he talked to us.
Yeah,
at the golf course.
I think you're going to see.
Feels like there's really good depth.
The high school depth start to really build up. That's where I think we've talked about the great recruiting classes. This is year 3 for Coach McGuire, and you used a lot of freshmen in the defensive backfield last year. You did, and a lot of those guys are going to be keys. Your DBs, just looking through the roster yesterday, might be your deepest unit on the team. Deepest, just overall guys that. Okay, you get someone hurt, you feel pretty comfortable putting another guy in. So,
all right, recap real quick, all three.
Number one is next year's our year in Barron's senior year.
Okay, number two.
Number two, it's cool to see Taj Brooks be the all-time leading rusher for Texas Tech. And number three is, man, our defense took another step forward this year.
All right, Jeff.
Sorry, I made that really long.
I'm agreeing with Choice on one of them, probably two of them actually. Except my answer would be more along the lines of, man, wasn't it fun watching Taj run?
Wow.
Like just seeing what he will do this year. That is the most excited I've been for a running back since Ricky Williams was your running back. Like DeAndre was great, don't get me wrong, but we weren't looking at the running game then. I mean, you got to go back that far. Number two, man, we're playing some defense now, aren't we? Number three, and this is what worries me.
What if you're talking to a female? I mean, you've said man twice now.
Rosafina.
Woman, we're playing some defense now, aren't we? And number three, and this is the one that worries me, are we ever going to keep a quarterback healthy? Because until it happens, I'm not counting on it.
That's a fair one, and probably a good prediction to have because how it's been.
And I'm not saying that he's injury prone. I'm saying
they're
you're
all
snake
injury
bit.
prone.
They're
Everyone.
all. It's the position
all of them.
that's snake bit.
Mm-hmm. What are yours, Jamie?
All right, number one for me, another step in the right direction.
Okay.
Number two, I wish we could keep a quarterback healthy. And number three, it was great that the wide receivers were so much better this year than last year.
Yeah. I like that one. You guys are such cynics. Come on. What's this with quarterback health? There's been no signs at all that we should be worried about that. I like the receiver one, though, because I'm with you. I'm maybe it's not based in a ton besides Josh Kelly and what he did at Washington State last year. But I really feel a lot better about your receivers going into this season than I did exiting last season.
Yes,
it feels like you got rid of some, and I say got rid of, I mean, some pieces left you that
you weren't broken up about them leaving.
Yeah, I mean, Miles Price is one where I liked him and I liked his leadership, so I didn't necessarily like seeing him go to Indiana. He did go to Indiana, right? I think that's the school. Anyway, he left you. Jerron Bradley was
a major disappointment.
Yeah, he was TJ Vasher 2.0 to me.
Yeah.
A big, tall receiver that was supposed to be good for you that never developed, never turned into what you hoped for.
And he's where now?
Boston College?
Okay.
I was waiting on you to confirm. I'm pretty sure it is Boston College. But the group of receivers you have, and Coy Aiken's going to lead your returners. I like that piece. Obviously, Micah Hudson. Yeah, I'm in for that statement. Hope you're right there. Because that can help Barron and can help Taj out quite a bit.
Sure. And it can help us out. Because we'll be happier.
We will be happier. And Zach Hitley. And lots of people. It's the Morning Drive. Boom, boom, boom next on Double T 97.3.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Thrilled to be part of your Friday. You're listening to The Morning Drive on Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. Chois Woodman in for Chuck Heinz, Jamie Lent in his normal spot, as is Jeff McGuire. Keep your thoughts, your comments coming in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that Double T 97.3 mobile app. Jamie.
Yeah, Choice.
Oh, first, in case you missed it, we want to congratulate Mary. She's already dropped in and said thank you, but Mary won the $2,500 grand prize out at Two Docs last night, so congratulations to her. Thanks to our friends at the Home Zone for teaming up to give away. We gave away $10,000 in totality over the last couple of months, so hope you were one of them. If not, keep listening. We'll have more opportunities in the future. But congrats to Mary for that prize at Two Docs last night. Jamie, we've been talking a lot this summer about who wore it better. This is all Red Raider conversation. Different numbers throughout. And our last one up to this point was our most difficult and divisive one. It was the number 12, which featured Eric Gutierrez, Janine Becky, Keenan Evans, and Rodney Allison. Now, I don't agree with the voting public on who they chose. He was third on my list. My vote went towards Eric Gutierrez, which got second, but Keenan Evans the winner. What was the final vote?
Keenan's was third on my list also.
It was Goot, Janine, Keenan, and then Rodney, and I love Rodney too. All four of those very, very good options.
I don't think there's anybody on the list on these lists that we don't love.
Oh, of course. Yeah, they're all Red Raiders. So,
I mean, there's not like we're not voting on Chris Beard's number or anything, are we?
We're not.
Yeah.
What is that, a big old fat zero?
Or
that would not have made the
Kevin
list.
Kevin McCullough or...
He did not make the list, no.
Yeah.
What was he, 15?
I think so. I think you're right.
So, so the winners thus far of our votes, EJ Holub, Wes Welker, which we may have on the show Monday morning, so listen in. Josh Young, Jarrett Culver, and now Keenan Evans. So we do not have a non-football or men's basketball player yet. Could change today. We'll see. Number 11 is the next one. So we go from 12 to 11. Options votable are Cam Warren, Jakeem Grant, Tariq Owens, and Zach Smith. 1 baseball, 1 football, 2 basketball. Another tough one. It's probably the second toughest list to me.
My vote is for Steven Smith.
Okay. So Jamie's going with the write-in option.
I am bothered by the fact that Steven Smith did not make the list. Yeah. No, if I'm being...
Who would you have replaced, honestly? Zach Smith?
Yeah.
That's probably who I would replace out of that, because he's 4th on the list to me.
Bull. Give me the 4 names again.
Cam Warren, Jakeem Grant, Tariq Owens, Zach Smith. Is it that order for you? I've got one that is clear-cut to me out of this group, though they're all very deserving. The only problem for him is the era he played in. It wasn't as successful as some of your others. Because mine's Jakeem Grant. He's your all-time leading receiver.
I would have guessed that you were going to take Tariq Owens.
No, he's a one-year guy. Doesn't mean that he's not deserving, but that does factor in on these things to me.
And he came back and booed Chris Beard.
Which is, that is that's a plus.
Just boosted him there.
That's a plus.
Cameron Warren wasn't voted by the coaches the Conference Player of the Year, but he was by many publications. And, Jakeem is your all-time leading receiver. I'm going with Cam Warren. I think Conference Player of the Year, led you to Omaha, helped lead you to Omaha, was a part of that. I put him at the top.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I understand. He's number 2 on my list. Tariq's 3.
Jakeem's 2. Tariq's 3.
Yeah.
Zach Smith is 4. And Steven Smith is 2.5. In between Jakeem and Tariq.
Okay. You love you some Steven Smith. I do too.
I do.
Friendship Tigers.
I do.
2.
The Bull,
so that's
man.
A plus for him.
The Bull. Plus that iconic picture with Devin Conley
absolutely.
diving and him with his guns up behind him.
Yeah, it's a great picture.
It's one of the greatest pictures.
He's not doing
history.
the work in the picture though.
He's just looking good. That's
Both
kind of
them,
what Steven Smith's all about. He's just there to look good.
On their face too is just like, holy cow, he caught that.
Yes.
Holy moly,
man.
Yeah, I get it. Cam Warren, he's one of my favorites. He's a great dude too. So it's kind of like Rodney Allison that factors in. Where if you ever know Cam Warren, he's great, funny. I mean, but I got to go Jakeem there. And again, if Jakeem was played in the time that Wes Welker did, where you associate it more with good times, I wonder how that would affect people.
Sure.
People's votes.
I don't know. Jakeem was special though.
He was very special.
Yeah.
I mean,
man, he was fun to watch.
Shiftiness, the stop and start on a dime was unreal. And he's one of the shortest players in modern NFL to actually get some playing time, to get on the field. He's able. That's how good he is. So we're able to overcome some serious height deficiencies. But so y'all can go vote on that at Double T 97.3 on Twitter for that. This from the chat line. Keith's, where did you go, Keith? Speaking of U.S. Olympic trials, there's another Lubbockite who is at the trials. Rhett Hensley is competing in the 3-meter springboard diving to represent U.S. in Paris. Awesome. Didn't realize that.
Very cool.
Yep. So we'll be rooting for him. I'm guessing he's probably a Longhorn, but he's a Lubbockite, so we'll pull for him. This from the chat line as well. Bobby Hot Dog says, go Royals. Immediately, Bullfighter responds, go Orioles.
Because the Orioles play the Astros this weekend.
And the Royals play the Rangers.
Yep.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. I'm glad that there's finally some fire between the two teams. Just haven't had it until. And what stinks is you haven't had it because one team's been good while the other has been bad. Now both are very
mediocre to
subpar.
Yeah, injuries
but you're at the
played
same
a
level.
Role in both of that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Someone says, Jamie, I'm the opposite. I'll watch track if it's on, but the first week of the Olympic swimming is appointment television for me. I haven't been super invested in the trials, but will take in all I can for the Olympics. If Caleb Dean or another Red Raider is running, my thoughts will change.
Okay.
So if, I don't remember who the others are that are competing for other countries, but Terrence Jones, I believe he's a Bahamas guy. If he is out there running against Americans, are you bleeding red, white, and blue more or red and black? You rooting for Terrence Jones or America?
I probably would root for Terrence Jones.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
These killers don't.
I'm not rooting against Terrence Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I want him to have success.
But we're rooting for the Red.
Take the silver.
We wrap ourselves in the flag.
That's how I am, too.
Now, if an American can't win, different argument.
Sure. Yeah, if it's not, like no Americans in the finals, which it wouldn't be, but yeah. I think Cam could have been argued that Cam deserved Player of the Year over Young.
I agree.
Okay.
I think it could have gone either way.
Sure. Yeah, they were both really good on that team.
Yeah. I think Josh was kind of given the nod for body of work.
You're listening to The Morning Drive on Double T 97.3.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.